Hey there, and welcome. If you're new to using a computer for work, don't worry. You've come to exactly the right place. Today, we're going to walk through all the basics you need to feel totally comfortable and confident, especially when we start talking about Mintsoft, which is the main software we use around here. I know it can feel like a lot at first, but I promise it's way easier than you might think. We're just going to break everything down one simple piece at a time. So let's get right into it and open up our digital toolbox. All right, so the best way to start is with a really simple idea. I want you to think of the computer in front of you not as some complicated machine, but just as your personal toolbox. It's got everything you need to get your job done. And just like any toolbox, it really only has two main parts. You've got the physical box itself, and then you've got the tools you keep inside it. Understanding that simple difference, that's the first big step. Okay, first up, we've got the hardware. This is all the physical stuff you can actually touch and see. You know, the screen you're looking at right now, the keyboard under your fingers, the mouse you use to click around. It's the actual physical box that holds all your tools. And then, inside that box, you have the software. These are the tools themselves. They're the programs that let you do stuff like write a document, browse the internet, or, and this is the important one for us, manage all our warehouse work. Mintsoft itself is a piece of software. It's a really key tool in your toolbox. So we've got our toolbox. Now, what about our workspace? Well, your computer's main program, what we call its operating system, it's basically your digital desk. For pretty much all of us, that digital desk is called Windows. It's the first thing you see when you turn the computer on. It's how you log in. It's where you use the Start menu to find all your software tools. And of course, it's how you safely shut everything down at the end of the day. So as you're working, you're going to be creating and using things called files. A file is just a single piece of saved info. Could be a report, maybe a list of items, maybe a shipping label. Each one is its own separate item on your digital desk. And you know, to keep that digital desk from turning into a total mess, we use folders. A folder is just a container. It's a place to keep your related files all together. Think of it exactly like a folder in a filing cabinet. It keeps everything tidy and easy to find. Now, you're mainly going to be working with two kinds of files here. The first one is called a CSV. Whenever you see CSV, I want you to just think spreadsheet. It's a simple way to organize data, like numbers and text. The second one is a PDF. A PDF is like a digital photocopy. It locks a document so it can't be easily changed, which is perfect for stuff like invoices or shipping labels. Okay, so we've got our hardware and our software tools. But where do these tools actually live? Well, some are installed right there on your computer, but others live online, and you get to them using the internet. And this is a really important difference to get. A perfect example of this is thinking about Microsoft Office versus Google Workspace. Office programs, like Excel and Word, are usually installed right on your PC. But Google's tools, like Google Sheets and Docs, they run inside your internet browser. They're not on your machine, they're online. So how do you get to those online tools? You use something called a web browser. Think of programs like Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge as your car for the internet. You open it up, type in an address, and it takes you wherever you need to go online. And here's where it gets really interesting. There's a difference between a website and a web application. A regular website mostly just shows you information, right? Like a news site. But a web application is a tool that lets you do things. Think about Gmail, where you're actively writing and sending emails. Or, you guessed it, Mintsoft. It's a web application, a tool you use to get work done. And if you're using online tools, it only makes sense that you'd have online storage, right? Well, that's exactly what Google Drive is. It's like your filing cabinet in the cloud. You can save all your files there, your CSVs, your PDFs, and get to them from any computer that has an internet connection. Super handy. Okay, so let's take a breath. We've covered the computer, the digital desk, and the difference between tools on your PC and tools online. Now, let's zoom in on the most important tool in your toolbox for this job, Mintsoft. So here's the bottom line. Mintsoft is the software we use to run the warehouse. And because it's a web application, you do all your work with it right from inside your web browser, like Google Chrome. No need to install anything special. So what do you actually do in Mintsoft? Well, this is where the important stuff happens. You'll be using it to check on our stock levels, to process new customer orders as they come through, and to handle everything about shipping, including printing out those PDF labels we talked about. All right, now for the really cool part. Let's see how all these different pieces, the computer, the files, the browser, and Mintsoft, all work together to get a real task done. We're going to walk through a typical job right now. Okay, so let's say your manager asks for a sales report. Simple. First, you open your web browser and log into Mintsoft. Then you head over to the report section, find the one you need, and you click Export CSV. That's it. You've just told Mintsoft to wrap up all that data into a single spreadsheet file for you. But hang on a second. You click the button. So where'd the file go? This is probably the #1 question people have when they're starting out, and you'll be happy to know the answer is always the same. Any file you download from the internet, whether it's from a website or web application like Mintsoft, is automatically saved to a special folder on your computer called Downloads. Every single time. You can always find it right there. And look at this. This brings the whole process full circle. You export that CSV report from Mintsoft, and it lands in your Downloads folder. From there, you can open it up with an online tool like Google Sheets to check the data. Then you can save a copy to your Google Drive and share it with your manager. You see? You just used 4 different tools seamlessly to get the job done. And just like that, you've gone from the very basics of hardware and software to connecting multiple tools to complete a real task. You've already got the foundation down. You know how this works. So the only question left is, what are you going to build next?